Hey everybody, it's Kathy Champion and you're welcome back into my craft room here at Random Acts of Crafting. Come on in and we're going to do something a little different today. And I know that y'all like when I do things that are a little bit different than the ordinary cards and things like that. So I came up with a plan, and this can be something that you could sit in your craft room, maybe in your den. You could also make a card out of it, and I'm going to show you one that I made a long time ago, and I have been meaning to bring this to my channel, but we're going to be doing something like this. This one here I made a good while back, and what I'm going to teach you how to do today is how to do this frame. And all I did on the back was made a little makeshift easel, and I'll show you how to make those as well. And you can set it up, but now if you glue this on the front of a 6x6 card, it will sit up too, and you could send it as a card to someone, and then they could also display it, or you could just do it as is, and it's just a really attractive piece to give someone, a little bit more than a card, but yet still very, very attractive. So we're going to work on that today, and I am going to start off. I have a couple different pieces of paper. I'm going to lay this one to the side for right this minute because I want to work with this. But y'all know that I love a template. So yes, I made you a template because there's a lot of score lines that you have to do. So you need to start off with a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock, and you want something that is fairly heavy. You don't want paper. You need a good weight cardstock, not too thick, but not too flimsy either. And I have cut part of this out because I had to go back and practice my cuts to make sure that I had it right. But what you're going to do, and I'm going to go back over this with you. I'll also have this, I'll take a picture of this and set it as a PDF file. And if anybody wants this, like I always tell you, email me at Kathy@randomactsofcrafting.com. and I will email you a copy of this until I get a blog set up where I can actually input PDF files, and I am working on that. It's been a slow process, but I am working, and then I'll be able to link my PDF files in there, and all you'll have to do is go there and click on it, which will be a lot easier. But nevertheless, for right now, if you want this, and what I did is I put on here that you need a piece that's 10 by 10. So you're going to take a piece of cardstock that is 12 by 12, and all we're going to do is cut it down to a 10 by 10. Simple so far, right? Right. So I'm just going to put this in, and I'm going to take it to the 10-inch mark right there, and just slice it. And then we're also going to turn it this way and put it on that 10-inch mark and slice it. And I love this paper trimmer because you got a nice lip up here that you can slide your paper up against. You have this nice little bar here that carries your blade and your scoring tool. And you have a handle to it, and it also snaps down so that you can hear it when it snaps and know that it's in place. So I really do love that about this trimmer. I also love the fact that you have a span of a little over 17 inches. And yet this will fold down, and you have a trimmer that can easily be packed into a bag if you go to a crop or a party or whatever. So that's always a good thing. Now I want this to be my right side, and I'm going to actually pull out my scoreboard today. And remember, I told you that there would still be a time that you would need a 12 by 12 scoreboard. And this is one of those times because we got a lot of scoring to do on this. And I am going to use my score tool rather than my bone folder for this. And what we're going to do is we're going to score, and I wrote those on the template. It's at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5 inches, and 2 inches. And then you're going to score at 2.5 on this side, 7.5 here, 2.5 here, but you're only going to score down to that second score mark. And that'll make much better sense when we do it. So I'm going to zoom you in just a little bit. And hopefully y'all can see that. Let me move this cardstock out of my way. And I'm going to turn this at an angle like this. Now I'm going to put this up in here nice and tight. And I'm going to use the ball on my my little score tool. And I'm going to score all the way down at 1/2 inch, at 1 inch, at 1.5 inches, and at 2 inches. And then we're just going to turn it, and we're going to do the same thing. 1/2 inch. And some of you may have made these before. This is nothing new. There's a lot of crafters out there that I've seen do this, and I've seen them do it in several different ways. I like this technique the best because some of them make the frame separate, but I like having that back to my frame. I think it makes it a little bit more substantial. So there's our last one on this side, and that's at 2. So now again, we're just going to turn it. And here we go again at 1/2 inch, at 1 inch, at 1.5, and at 2. And then turn it one more time, and we're going to do this last side, and we're going to go in again at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5 inches, and at 2. Now what we're going to do is we're going to decide which one of these we want. And what I do is I usually just leave it in the trimmer, because what you're going to do on one side at the top and the bottom, and it doesn't matter, you can do it this way or this way, as long as you do it here and then you turn it and do it at the bottom, so the opposite side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in, and I'm going to go to 2.5, and I just want to score down to that second score mark. So here is 2.5, and I'm only going to that second score mark. So I'm going to bring that up and see, I went down 1, 2, and you're going to stop right there. You're going to put it back in, and you're going to do the same thing down here at 7.5. So 7.5 down to that second score line. So that's giving you one extra score line. Now you're going to turn it all the way around so that those 2 extra score lines are at the bottom, and you're going to do the same thing up at the top. You're going to go in at 2.5 down to that second score line, and at 7.5 down to that second score line. And that's all you need to do for this part. So we can go ahead and move our scoreboard. I hadn't pulled that out in a long time. I just absolutely love, love, love how this turns out and how beautiful this is going to be. So we're going to have to cut away some of this, and this can be the tricky part, but you want to work on these edges right here that you put that little short score line on. And I'm just going to use my little fussy cut scissors. I'm going to zoom y'all back out because I don't think you need to be, whoops, wrong way. There we go. I want you to be able to see the full amount of the picture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut down on that score line to that score line where we stopped at. So once we go down to there, then we're going to angle, and let me draw a pencil mark so you can see that. You're going to cut down on this little short over those 2 score lines, and then you're going to actually cut an angle from the corner there to the other side. And see how I drew that on there? So you're going to take your scissors and cut across to there and then down to here. And let me show you how that's going to look. We're just going to take our scissors, and what you're going to do is let it turn with your scissors, cut an angle over to there, and when you get to there, then you're going to cut straight, and then you're going to come over to this side and you're just going to cut this whole piece away. It's just that simple. And then this side is done. So now you need to do the same thing over here. So what we're going to do here is we're going to cut down to that second score line, just like that, and then we're going to angle over from the top of this mark over to there, just like that, and then we're going to cut up, and then we're going to cut that completely out, just like that. Oops. And then we're going to turn it around. Now we've got this side done. We're not going to do any of our folding and burnishing until we get our cuts made. So now we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to cut down to the score line, that little short score line. So you're going to go down past that first score line that goes across to that second one, and then you're going to angle, get your scissors in there, and you're just going to angle over to that next line. And then you're going to cut straight up to the next line, and then you're going to turn it and just cut this all away. You know, when I first made one of these, I thought, oh my goodness, how complicated. But if you do this a couple of times, it will not be complicated. And if you make yourself a template, you can tuck this back into your template file, and anytime that you need to make one of these, you can pull that out and it will come right back to you. So it's just that simple. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to cut this down to there. I'm going to angle it over to that corner, and then I'm going to cut up to that next score line, and then I'm going to cut that away. And that's it. This is your frame. I know it doesn't look like much yet, but wait until you see what happens. So what we're going to do now, I want to decide which side do I want. I think I want this side to be, this paper has a rough texture on one side. It's kind of weathered, but it's smooth on this side. So I want the smooth side up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start burnishing all of my score lines. So I am going to use my bone folder, and I am going to come up and up again and up one more time. You want these score lines nice and crisp because this is what's going to make your fold. And what's going to happen, that is going to fold in just like that. And that's going to make the bottom of your frame. So I'm going to roll it back out for right now because I want to go back in, and I'm going to start with this one. I'm going to crease it really good, and then the next one, and crease it good, and then I'm going to crease it one more time, and then crease it again. And then I'm going to fold this one up to show you what's going to happen here. This is going to come over, and see I put that pencil mark there, so let me get that pencil mark off of there because that is going to show. And we don't need a pencil mark showing on our frame. Although it's on the corner, I'll probably be covering that up with something decorative, but that's okay. We don't want it showing. So now we'll fold that down and fold this around, and see how that comes together with a completely perfect mitered edge. See there? Beautiful. I love that. Absolutely love it. So we're going to keep doing this all the way around until we get all of our sides completely done. Now, this is ready to start gluing down. But what we want to do is I like to decide what I'm going to put in here prior to gluing anything down. And I pulled out this British Monroe Farmhouse Florals, and I still have a couple of these in my shop if anybody's interested. And I'm going to go through here and I want to pick one out that I want to use as my background. And I'll show you why I like to put them in first, because then the frame will fold down over top of it. And it just covers it up and you don't have to worry about having any gaps if you put your backdrop in first. So it's just something I like to do. I mean, you know, it's totally up to you. Oh, look at that. Is that not gorgeous? I think this is it. I think this is it right here. Isn't it funny how you know when you find what you like? Are y'all like that when you're crafting? You come up on something, you're not really sure where you're going with it, and then it just completely falls together. I love it when that happens. Okay, yeah, that's going to be it, I think. I really do love that piece. That is so pretty. That's pretty too, but that's a little too subtle. That one we looked at. And there's another one in here that I didn't see. Oh, there it is. I thought this one was pretty too. This was the first one I was looking at because it had all those blues in it. So let's decide which one of these I want to use, because at this point I'm really not sure. I do love that. That is so gorgeous. But I also want something that I can decorate on the inside. So let's see how that looks. Well, that's pretty too. Oh my goodness, decisions. I still love this. I think I'm going to go with that one. I've got some ideas of what I want to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just add some adhesive, and I'm just going to use a snail to put this on with. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do some little pieces around here like so. Just want to make sure that we get it stuck down just like we want it. Let's see, like that. Alright, and what I'm going to do is I am going to put it down right to that score line, and making sure that I don't go over these score lines, because if you go over them, your edges are not going to fold up like you need them to. That looks good. I'm just going to press that down and let that adhesive set in. And then I'm going to come over to this piece first, our sides, because our beveled edge, let's see, which way do I want it to go? Yeah, the cut piece, the piece that you cut your angles out of, they need to wrap around this. So we need to do our sides first. For these, I am going to use some art glitter glue or wet glue, whatever you have, whatever your favorite type of glue is. And then I'm going to set that and hold it in place, because you want these to be nice and straight. So let me grab my glue. And right here is where you want to put your glue. And I am going to bend that over just like that. And just hold it. I'm just going to hold it until I know that it's set. And it doesn't take long because this glue dries really super fast. And that is one of the advantages of this glue. And now I'm going to bend this one under and set it down. You want to make sure that you're pushing up on it just a little bit because you don't want your frame to look like it's drooping. Okay, that looks good. And now all we have to do is put some glue right here. And now we're just going to tuck this under, just like that. Tuck it down and then wrap it around. And this can be a little tight and a little challenging, but don't give up on it. Remember, it's paper. Manipulate it. You can manipulate your paper. Hold it, hold it, hold it. And you might want to come in and put just a tiny bit of glue under the edges here. And press that down. That's going to help give you a better seal. I'm going to wipe a little bit of that away after I get it, once I know that it's tacked down. I'm going to do the same thing right here because we want to make sure these corners are nice and square. Just like when you make a box, you know, nothing looks any worse than to have a box that has undone corners on it. And it's the same thing with a frame. You want your frame to be squared up really well. And I'm going to hold that just for a little bit longer. You know, and we're going to decorate these corners, so just like I showed you in this one, you know, you're not really seeing the corners, you're seeing this one corner right here. This was my very first one that I made, and I kept it because I thought it was pretty. So let's turn this around now, and we're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to put some glue all along there. And turn this in, and let's put a little glue right here and right here, and that way that should catch and hold it. So let's sit that down in there and push this in nice and tight, and look at that beautiful picture. I mean, with nothing else, is that not gorgeous? I love, 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 love those colors. They are spectacular. I love pretty flowers. I think, you know, flowers and birds and butterflies, oh my, it's just, oh, they make me happy. And that's what crafting should do. You know, crafting should make us happy. Now I'm going to get a little bit more glue up under the edge of this one. And I have got glue all over me, y'all. Y'all know that I cannot craft without getting stuff all over me. It's either ink or glue or both. And so nothing has changed. We're also going to do some butterflies. I think this one calls for some beautiful butterflies. And let me get a wet wipe. Actually, I got some of these little alcohol wipes that I made. I took a thing of wet wipes and opened them up and poured a bottle of alcohol in, because when I couldn't get hand sanitizer, I made my own. Just with a bottle of rubbing alcohol and some wipes. They work really good for my alcohol markers if I get those on anything. And you know what they say. Necessity is the mother of invention. So, alright. So this will dry in just a minute, and that will not look as noticeable, but it's okay for right now because we are going to cover those up in very, very short order. We are going to cut some flowers, and I may even use a piece of this floral paper I think this one would make some pretty flowers. And what if we use a punch? What if we use our small or our medium daisy punch? Let's see what some flowers look like just punched out of this. Let's see. And I want a couple of those because we're going to stack them. And maybe another couple. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to put dimensionals between these, and we're going to stack them like that. And then we're going to use a little gemstone or something to go. But look how full it makes them. Let me grab some gemstones and I'll be right back. Right, we are back, and I found these in my stash, and I thought these ones right here are gorgeous, and they would complement that blue beautifully. So what I'm going to do before I go any further is I want to go ahead and put these together, and I'm going to use some of my dimensionals to do that. So let's see if we have any more on that one sheet. I knew I had yep, we still got a couple on here. So let me get my Take Your Pick tool. I love this tool because it just makes life so easy. And I'm going to pull off one of these, and I'm going to set it right in the middle of my little daisy. And then I'm going to pick off the backer, just like that. And then I want to take this one and I'm going to sit it on top of it, but I want to offset it. Just like that. Isn't that pretty? And now to give this a little more dimension, you can use your bone folder or you can do it with your fingers. I think the bone folder makes it just a little bit easier, and it allows you to curl these flowers just a little easier. And I'm going to show you the difference that it makes with them being on dimensions and being flat. And putting the little stone in the middle, it just brings the flower to life. Nobody wants a flat flower. So there's one that we have doctored up a little bit. And I'm going to pull off one of these dimensionals, and they already have glue on the back. I say they do, but these might just be old and they have lost their stickiness. Let's see if I can peel this one off. Yeah, that one I got off with the sticky. So I'm going to try to connect it to this, because that's going to allow me to put it down just like I need it. Now look at the difference between the flower that's been treated and the two that are just laying flat. Total difference. Same flower, just this one we curled it a little bit. So that's going to go right there. And let's try this one. I'm trying to decide, do I want to pull in? I think that green would look cute in the middle of one of these. So let's get our little dimensionals going again. And I'm going to put this down right in the middle, just like I did before. Let's take that backer off. And then we're going to offset this one. And you know, please use this as an inspiration, because I'm sure you've got some punches of some sort in your craft stash. So pull out one of your punches, or maybe you have a little flower die that you can cut, and give this a try. It's so cute. So So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to curl these little petals. And I think this one I'm going to use that green on the middle. So let's see if we can grab one of these. You know, if this don't work, we'll put a glue dot under it. There we go. I think I got that off that time and got the adhesive with it. Oh yeah, that is gorgeous. And that one can go right there. Look at that. Now we need some butterflies. And we're also going to do a sentiment in here of some sort. I haven't decided yet which sentiment I want to use, but I got an idea. I always have ideas, and that's not a bad thing. You know, ideas are a good thing. The other thing is, how do we want to glue these on? Do we want to, I think we can glue these flat down. And you know why I say that? Because they already have a lot of dimension. So I'm just going to put some glue right there. And see, this is going to, if you have any gaps or anything here, this is going to camouflage that and make it absolutely beautiful. Nobody has to see your boo-boos. If you make boo-boos, cover them up. You know, that's what flowers and butterflies are for. You cover up your mistakes with something pretty and nobody has to know about it. Oh, is that not gorgeous? Now I need some butterflies. So let's see what we can find for butterflies. And I'm going to grab my butterfly stamp set. I think the Butterfly Gala would be the one that I'd want to do. And I will be right back. Okay, we're back. And what I did is I pulled some scraps of some different colored cardstock that I thought would play well with this. And I'm going to stamp this butterfly, and I'm probably going to do him maybe a couple of times on each one of these cardstocks. And I'm going to actually stamp him in VersaFine ink. And the reason I'm choosing VersaFine is I want a very dark black ink. We're not going to be using alcohol markers on this. So I want an ink that's going to stand up against this color, and I think that my VersaFine Black Onyx is going to be just the one that I want. So I am going to stamp that right here. I'm going to kiss the paper really well. Beautiful. I love, love, love these stamps. They are so nice. You know what? I'm not going to clean that yet because I'm going to be putting it right back in black ink. So I'm going to do a couple of each color in case I don't get a good one when I get ready to punch these out. I'll have an extra one. Okay, there's the yellow. Now let's do the blue. And one more time, maybe up here. Beautiful. And now we're going to do it on our really beautiful hot pink. Alrighty. Clean that off right there. And now let's close up our ink. And I have my butterfly punch, and this is one of the greatest punches ever, especially if you are a butterfly fan, as many of you know I am. So I'm going to let these dry just for a few minutes, and I'm going to start with the first one. And watch how beautiful this this punch is. You can get right in. It does give you enough of room for the body. And you want to be careful when you're punching, because you want to get your punch lined up as best you possibly can. And there's those. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that. Oh, so cute. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take my scissors and I am going to cut. Should have grabbed a long pair, because nobody can cut straight with a short pair of scissors. These are for fussy cutting. So I'm going to cut across the bottom here and get this where I can get it down in here like that. Now, you know what? Let me show y'all a trick. This is a wonderful trick, and y'all probably already know about this. But if you take a sticky note or a flag, and I have some flags in here. I got a couple right here. Maybe this will work. Your little flags that you use, if you use one of those, you can use this as a holder. And this will help you get it positioned where you need it, just like that. And see, that flag will allow you to manipulate it, move it around, and just like, well, let me try it in the middle, because the side of it is kind of pulling it wonky and it's not wanting to line up in there for me. Let me get it over here where I can hold it and manipulate it, and then we'll go from there. Once I get this positioned, I'll bring it back over in camera. How about like that? And we got that one punched. So I'm going to take that out because I might need to use that again. We'll see. But these turned out really good. I'm real pleased with how pretty those are. So let's go ahead and do the blue one. And this one I should have enough of room here to hold it. Just like that. And then we have our blue one. And I'm going to do the same thing, so that will not fit up in there, so we're going to need to manipulate this one a little bit too. No big deal. We'll just cut it out, put our little flag on it right about there. And then we're going to drop it in. Try to get it centered up just where it needs to be. You really do have to be careful when you're doing these. I mean, you just have to take your time. If you take your time, you won't have any trouble with these. If you try to rush through them, I'm afraid it will not be a good fix. So just take your time. And this one I may just punch out this bottom one for the sake of time. I can always come back and do the top one at another time. Something like that. And yeah, we'll do this one another time. I'll just lay that over there out of our way for right now. And what I want to do now is I'm going to get a small stamp block, and we are going to do our little bodies on our butterfly. Because you do need a body. You need a body and you need antennas. So the stamp set comes with the body for the small one and the large one. And they are so stinking cute. There's the small one. And there's the large one. And I'm going to grab an ink and a very small stamp block, because we don't need anything big for sure. There's the small one. And here is the large one. So I'm going to use the same ink, and we're going to go ahead and do our bodies. So all I'm going to do is just come down right in the middle and stamp. And look how cute that looks. Fills in, gives him the body, and looks so stinking cute. I'm going to try not to get my head in the camera, but I am going to get over top of this one. There we go. Okay, now we need to do the little ones. These are going to be a little more tedious, but that's okay. We're just going to bring it over and just stamp about there. Just like that. Bring the little ones over. You know, they don't have to be perfect. The butterfly inspector's not going to come and get us to make sure that our butterflies are stamped perfect. And there we go. So I'm just going to set these over here for right now. And we're going to go ahead and put our butterflies. And what I want to do is bend them just a little bit to make them look like they're in flight. And we are also going to put the smaller one right here, just to give a little added dimension. So I'm going to use the liquid glue again, little art glitter glue, and I'm just going to put a tiny bit like that. My Bella is snoring again. I think she just woke Toby up. My baby's got a bath this morning, so that whenever they get a bath, they sleep really, really good after their bath time. So they have been sleeping most all day since they got their early morning bath. Okay, there's one. So let's do this one. Again, I'm just going to put a little dot of glue right there. Doesn't have to be a lot, just a little. Enough to sit that down in. We have had some really cool, unusually cool weather for North Carolina for June. We were only in the 50s yesterday, and I don't think much better than that today. It has been cold in my house all day. And anybody that knows me knows that I am very, very cold-natured. I freeze to death all the time. So I don't like it when I'm cold. Alright, we got our little butterflies are all together. And now we're ready to decide how we're going to decorate our card. Or our little frame. So we're pretty sure we're going to go with the, let's move our butterflies over here and get this back down where we can see what we're doing. And I think our flowers are good, but I think I want a butterfly maybe right there. I don't think that would be pretty. And I think I'm going to put these on with some glue dots. So I'm going to grab my glue dots, and I am just going to pick up one on the back of my butterfly, and then I am going to stick him right there, and I want his wings to come up because I want him to look like he's in flight. Isn't that gorgeous? And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to bend him, and I'm going to grab another glue dot. If y'all have not used these glue dots by Stampin' Up, you are missing a treat. They are so wonderful for any type of embellishment that you need to put down. I think I want to use this butterfly. And where do I want him? Maybe, you know what? I don't think I'm going to do another butterfly. I think this is plenty. We've got the blue of the frame. I pulled in the yellow. I want to do a sentiment on here. So let's see what sentiment we are going to pull. I'm going to lay my stamps over here because I've got to get my stamps back. Oops. Sorry about that. I'm shaking the camera. I am so sorry. My husband's got to adjust my mic after we moved everything in the craft room. My microphone is like almost under my head, so it's very easy for me to touch the mic, and then when I do that, everything else moves. So what if we just put a little tag right there and said something like, "Hello, beautiful." I wonder how that would fly. Or we could do it right here. That would be pretty. Or maybe right here at the top. And I definitely want to pop it up. I think it calls to be popped up. So let's try that. And let me see if I can find a stamp. Let me see what's on this one before. Hello, beautiful. There's one that says hello, beautiful. Let's see. I don't think it's going to fit on that particular tag. I might pull out my Misty. I haven't used my Misty in quite some time, but I want to get this position perfect. So this would be the perfect time to bring in our Misty. So there's our little tag, and I'm going to position it. Let's see if we can do it up a little higher. Maybe right there. Oop! That won't work. That magnet is too strong for that. Okay, let's try putting this end under here. And bring it down like that. I don't know about y'all, but those magnets always scare me when they clank like that. I just know they're going to shatter. And I don't want a shattered magnet in my Misty. Okay, that looks pretty good. So let's try that. I know my head got in the camera. I'm sorry, y'all. I just needed to make sure I had that centered over top of that, and I think I do. So I'm going to ink this up really good, and I'm going to press, press, press. Yep. It's down on the bottom, so I don't know. We probably could have come up a little bit more. I think that would fly. I really think we can get by with that. So, I think I like it better right there. So I am going to peel this off of here. I'm going to stick it on this one so that I can clean it. And let's put our Misty back up. And I'm going to use some Stampin Dimensionals again. And you know, when I make something like this, I am always amazed at the beauty that y'all bring to any of the projects that y'all replicate. So please try this. I would love to see what y'all do with it. I know that we've got so many talented people, and I want to see what you can do, how you would decorate something like this. Now, I do have a little piece that I want to make, and I was thinking about doing it with this black and white checkerboard because it looks like a kitchen, and I was thinking of making the frame with that. And one of our house has an apple pie recipe that I have been saying I wanted to do in this format from forever, ever since I seen that pack of paper. So I may do that one. Oh, I love it. Look at that. And you know what? Where is that other butterfly? No, I think the butterfly would be an overkill. I think this is plenty like it is. Now I am going to show you how to make your little easel for the back. And let's see, I'm going to measure this piece and replicate it. So we look like we have about, where is my ruler? There we go. Looks like we have about 3, 1 1/8. 1 1/8 is 2 1/4. 2 1/4 and about 2 3/4, I think, would be that piece. So let me write that down because y'all know I will forget it before I turn around. So 2 3/4, and then our large piece is going to be 5 3/4. Okay, as long as I got it written down somewhere where I can grab it, I'll be all right. So we are going to try to make that out of the same cardstock that we made the card out of. I think that or the little frame. I think that would make it very pretty. Oh, that's not the same piece. This little piece will work. And I don't know why we can't make a piece of this work. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to score this at the top about 1/4 inch. So let me get my scoreboard out. I'm going to do this on my trimmer. So maybe a 1/2 inch. I think a 1/2 inch would be good. So I'm going to move that one blade out of my way, and I'm going to score that at a 1/2. And then we're going to make the other piece 2 3/4. Let's do it 3 inches. We can always trim it down. Oops, wrong blade. Alright, now we need to score it, and we need to score it at 1, 2, 3 places. So I'm going to do a 1/4 inch on each end. So that little 1/4 inch on each end, that's going to actually glue down. And then we're going to do this in the middle, and I believe this is going to be 2 1/2, so 1 3/4. And then we're going to put it on here, and we're going to score it. You know, sometimes it's just easier to cheat than it is to actually try to do the math, and that will work for us because it's all we need is the bend. Okay. When it comes to math, it never was my strong suit. I can add and subtract with the best of them, but sometimes with fractions and things and trying to figure out a 3/8 of this or that, So now I need to figure out how this goes on here, and one piece is going to go to the base of the frame, and the other piece is going to go So we are going to do it like this. And like that. And like this. Okay. I think I got it. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put some art glitter glue on here. Press that in. And then I'm going to do some art glitter glue. On the top of this. And put that down right about here. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to put glue on this little tab right there and press that in like so. And hopefully this will allow our card to sit up just like that. And it works. And there's our little easel, and it sits up perfectly. Or you can lay it down like that. So this came together really, really cute. I do want to put some more gems on here. I think it needs a little something, something. So I'm going to go back to the ones that we had, and I want to use these little silver ones. And I want to put maybe about 3 of them. You know, everything looks good in 3s. So I'm going to put one right about there. I'm going to grab one of the bigger ones. I don't know why these glues are coming up off of these. These were relatively nice gems. So I'm going to put one right about there. And I'm just going to smush it in. I'm going to get one more of the little ones. And I think I'm going to put it right about there. And now I think I want to do a couple of the little blue ones. You know the old saying, you can't have too much bling. The little gems are not wanting to cooperate. Maybe because that one's not the right one for there. Let's go with this, the diamond colored one. Yeah, that looks much better. Evidently the gem knew better than I did. This one pops much better than the other one. Oh yeah, I love it. Is that not gorgeous? We got enough of bling on here to really bring it out. And I love that background paper. I love the way the frame turned out. And I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did. I hope that if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. YouTube's always looking for the positive reinforcement that one creator gets on their channel. So anytime that you leave me a comment, anytime that you click on the thumbs up, and anytime that you share one of my videos on your Facebook, Instagram, anything like that, it helps my status with with YouTube. And that's what I'm doing in growing my channel. I am trying to find favor with YouTube. And it helps. It really does help. So I appreciate all those thumbs up, likes, and subscribes. If you are watching this and you have never subscribed to my channel, please come back. Hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and that way you'll be notified every time I put up a video and you won't miss out on anything. So I hope that everyone is doing well. I hope that you're having a beautiful day, and it is my hope and desire that with each day that passes that you grow closer to your Lord and Savior. If you don't know Him, get into a church, learn the Word, pick up your Bible. You don't need a church per se. I'm not saying that going to church is not a good thing. We need that. But, turn on a service on Sunday morning. So many people are broadcasting now via Facebook and things like that, that there's no excuse why you cannot hear the Word of God. So join someone's church service. I share mine quite often on Sundays because we always broadcast on Facebook. We did before the pandemic, and we are continuing to do that. So if you're in need to be spiritually inspired, shoot me an email. I'll be glad to link you with my church. There's other people in this crafting community that have wonderful churches that they would be glad to link you with. So it's so important for us to take care of our soul. It is the most prized possession we've got. After all, Jesus died for our soul. And that's an awesome thing when you really stop and think the magnitude of that statement. But anyway, I won't go on. But my heart feels a little heavy today, and be a blessing to someone. You never know what they're going through, and you never know the woes and the fears and the anxiety that someone else is experiencing. So show other people love. And as always say in closing, let everything you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven. He is worthy. Until we craft again, I love you all. Bye-bye.